Hi, I'm Noah, and I'm here today to talk about EIP-7702 and the big changes that are coming to payments in UX. So a little about me. I'm the CTO at Dfns. We're a Wallet-as-a-Service infrastructure company. I bought my first Bitcoins back in the day off Mt. Gox. I quickly moved them out. I didn't trust Mt. Gox at all. I had a milk crate miner, mined back in 2014. I was at Gemini for about 7 years. I bought my first Ether there, and I've been sold on crypto since the beginning. And crypto usability is my real passion, and this is why I'm here today talking. Also, I love to run and cycle. I've been cycling around Con for the past 2 days. I'll be at the running events, so if you see me on a bike or running, come say hi. And I recently got a cat, so I've got little Steve here pictured next to my dog Lily. About Dfns, we're a wallet-as-a-service infrastructure company. We power other companies like Bridge, Iron, doing payments in the space. We also power custody providers like Zodia. So a lot of what we do is trying to make crypto easy to use, easy like Rails to move things around. So why do payments still feel like they're in 2013? If anybody's ever seen these two screens from MetaMask, you probably understand the pain. You don't have enough ETH for the transaction. You need to go buy some more ETH to pay for the gas, or fees are spiking on the network. It's just very difficult to use. As a payment provider, still having to move gas into a deposit address or deploy a smart contract on chain to sweep funds, it's just a really painful experience. So this is a big reason why I think EIP-7702 it's just pretty amazing technology, and I was really excited to see this move forward. The other thing, we see about 50% user drop-off when people are prompted with a gas prompt. It's difficult for a lot of people to understand. I like to use my dad as an example here. He's in his late 60s. I love him, but he doesn't understand crypto. If I told him that he had to go buy Wells Fargo stock to move USD out of his Wells Fargo account, it would just blow his mind. He wouldn't use it. It would just be an unusable platform for him. So I want to talk about the landscape here. ERC-4337 came out. It was a big step forward in usability, great protocol-wise. The user op being able to build this out on chain was great, but it was still difficult to use. High fees, how to deploy on chain, still need to manage gas. Pectra launched in May. Probably the biggest change in Ethereum in a very long time in the core underlying protocol. And now we're seeing EIP-7702 use cases pop up. And I think it's going to be the default moving forward. Saves on gas, saves on fees on chain, and just really simplifies the whole on-chain experience. So what does 7702 unlock for payments? So one, native batching. I think Uniswap is the classic example. You need to go in, you need to approve your USDC first, and then you can go in and do your Uniswap swaps. Very, very painful user experience to have to broadcast 2 transactions on chain. We can start bundling these things together, and you can even think of higher value transactions where it's not just 2 operations. Maybe you need to do 3, 4, 5. You can bundle all of these together. You can do one signature from the end user, so the end user is only signing once, and they're broadcasting all these things on chain. Merchant-funded gas. So if you're the merchant, you can pay the gas transaction fee for your customer, really simplifying the experience for them. They don't need to hold gas. Meta transactions without deploying a contract. It's nice to use what's already on chain, not having to deploy anything. And the best part is this all works today on mainnet. So I'm going to do my favorite thing here. I'm going to switch to a demo real quick. So I'm going to use DFNS. Going to use a fee sponsor, and I think this should all work. So I'm on my Dfns dashboard here, and in my settings, what I've done is I've set up a fee sponsorship entity. So on my fee sponsor, I've just got this main fee sponsor. It's got 0.01 ETH in it, enough for what we want to do today. And then I'm going to go to my wallets. I've got this gasless EOA. I've already funded it. It's got 100 USDC in it. and I'm going to move the funds to this this other EOA that I've created. So I've got my fee sponsor wallet. This is 1.01 ETH, and then this guy's got about 100 USDC. So I'm just going to pop in. I'm going to hit send. So I'm going to put in that address, and then I'm going to send all my USDC. And now I'm going to select a fee sponsor. So here, and this wallet, no Ethereum in it. I'm going to hit transfer, and I've got my pass key here and one password. So I'm just going to authorize that. And now this is going to be constructed, signed, and broadcasted on chain. And if I just do a little refresh here, I can see this has been broadcasted. And I can look, here's an old transaction that I previously did. But it's pretty straightforward. We've got the fee sponsor who's calling my address. My address is now a smart contract, and it's transferring the USDC. It's very seamless, very easy to use, and no gas had to go to the main wallet. This is probably the biggest hurdle that we run into with our customers. It happens all the time. People just hate doing gas. They always want a good solution, and we finally have it. So just to sort of talk through what's been happening under the hood here. First, we check if the wallet smart contract enabled. If it isn't, then we're going to switch it to our smart account. If it's got something else, we're just going to end the transaction. Then we go through, we construct the transaction, we sign it. If it's going to be a 7702 transaction, turning it into a smart contract, we're going to send the new opcode out for the transaction type 4, otherwise just a standard type 2 transaction. And then we broadcast it on chain. Simple as that. So what's coming next? I think this is probably the most important part. You know, we're here at SEC. I think this is like a very builder-centric conference. And I think we can all see what people are building towards. And this is what Dfns is building towards, and I think a lot of the people in the space. So fee invisible commerce. If you're a merchant, you know, if you pay the fee for the customer to send the transaction to you, then you know it simplifies the customer interaction. Every process in the value chain is much better. The transaction success rate can go up significantly. No more managing gas fees. Your customer doesn't need to care about like, oh, you know, CryptoKitties, are they launching a new NFT? Is the chain clogged? Checkout time can go down. And then that onboarding time, you know, the customer doesn't need to go to an exchange and buy Ethereum. They don't need to buy gas. It's just already there for them. You know, when we look to, you know, open questions here, you know, the incentive economics for paymasters, you know, what we can do there. I think, you know, with the bundling of transactions, we can make it easy to pay, like on chain. You could think of maybe, hey, I'll send 1 USDC to this paymaster. Also send, you know, the rest of the funds out to where they need to go, making it a lot easier to go on chain. I think the regulatory view of abstracted fees is a huge win here with EIP-7702. One issue that we run into quite a bit, if you want to pay for the gas for a transaction for somebody, if you send them Ethereum, you now fall into a big regulatory landscape. You might need to be licensed in the US under 50 states, under 50 different money transmitter licenses. In Europe, you may need to get other like MiCA licensing. It's just a very painful experience when all you want to do is receive funds from somebody or move funds around on chain. So being able to sponsor the transaction and pay for it without having to actually send ETH to somebody is great. You know, I think when we look at other EIPs and kind of what's coming next, you know, with Dfns, we want to like integrate 4337, have other options for the smart accounts that you can integrate with. But then the standardization across wallet providers, providing you know, EIP-7702, you know, this is really, I think, where being able to send user ops for signing to a wallet is going to be huge. So standardizing on user operations, being able to send those out on chain, and having every wallet provider be able to kind of seamlessly offer this, it's really going to change like how payments are done, how UX is done. So next steps. Well, first, go try Dfns. Here's a link. Anybody can get started today. We've got our open source smart account. So this is our 7702 account. It's not 4337. We made just a very simple on-chain contract, only for payments on our platform. But we want contributions. We want the community to get involved. And then also, we want to start working with 4337 contracts and being able to deploy those out. And then, of course, come talk to me after the talk. Come connect with me on LinkedIn. Find my GitHub. Find my Telegram. Always happy to chat. And that's it.
Thank you. Just to be sure to have understood correctly, essentially you're using ERC-4337 as an infrastructure to enable the EOAs, externally owned account, to use EIP-7702. You have your own smart account infrastructure, and you need this to use the new EIP-7702, so sort of.
Yeah, so what we have today at Dfns is not 4337 compliant. It's a little different. We built it just to meet like the current needs that we see from our customers. What we want to do though is start adding more functionality. Definitely want to add the different kind of variants of 4337, the different signature compatibilities too. So today it's very like specific. It's also a much simpler contract. 4337 gets pretty complicated, and the audits can get pretty intensive. So just trying to keep it simple, but also, looking to see what other people are going to deploy on chain. I know a lot of people are working through 7702 today. I think we saw Gnosis, Uniswap, just a bunch of others with like on-chain contracts already. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Maybe one more quickly. Sorry.
Sure.
How do you link your MPC configuration with that? How is it complementary?
That's a good question. So at Dfns, we love MPC, but we've taken kind of a different approach. The user credential is separate from the key management. So we securely manage the key infrastructure for our customers. And then when you register on Dfns, and you might have seen me do it when I was sending that transaction out, I was using WebAuthn. So in WebAuthn, public-private key pair, you register that public key with Dfns, and then internally in our infrastructure, that's like that authorization to that wallet to this organization that I'm in. So with that, user onboarding, it's very simple. You can onboard, offboard users. There's no key material kind of leaking out into the wild. It's all kind of in the back end. And then we do what we do best. We securely manage that key material.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.